It's hidden in the Western media. They depicted Thailand as like a third world country, very poor, like it has nothing. But when you go to like the malls, you see how like luxurious Thailand can be.
Meet Mike Yu, born and raised in the UK to Chinese parents. He studied in China and worked in the US before settling in Thailand 3 years ago, where he became a well-known content creator. Mike shares the top things foreigners should never do in Thailand, the biggest misconceptions about the country in the West, and why foreigners are so wrong about ladyboys. I'm Max Chernov, your insider to Expat Life. ไปกันเถอะ
ผมชอบคอนครับคิดว่าคนไทยใจดีมากแล้วก็คิดว่าแบบใช้ชีวิตสะดวกครับราคาก็ไม่แพงถ้าเปรียบเทียบกับอังกฤษครับ
Yeah. Okay, what's that?
So I said the people are so nice, they're very kind.
Yeah.
It's very convenient and the prices are quite affordable compared to England.
What people don't get about Thailand? Let's say your British friends, what they don't understand about the place?
I feel quite strongly about this. So I would say in the West, people just focus on the 7-Eleven cheese toasties, Khao San Road, PP Islands, ladyboys. But there's so much more to Thailand than just this. There's the beautiful culture, there's how kind the Thai people are, how beautiful like the traditional dancing, the clothing. There's so much different food. The language is also very beautiful too. It's a very like emotional, like deep language. It's like once you start learning Thai, it's a very fascinating culture. And also Buddhism too. I think most tourists that come, especially from the West, they just focus on like getting drunk and like partying, but there's also another wholesome side to that, which I think people should look into more. But that's the reason I make content too, to show the real Thailand.
What's the biggest misconceptions that you see based on the comments like under your videos? Let's say what people say, you like, oh shit, it doesn't work this way, or something like, no, it's not like that.
That Thailand is cheap. Because I would say it can be extremely expensive, and there's also a lot of rich Thais. They're called like haisos.
Okay.
And I would say there's probably a lot more like rich people in Thailand compared to how you actually perceive it to be. But it's very hidden. Yeah.
So they don't want to show off also, maybe.
I think it's hidden in the Western media. Like when you see like, for example, the Apple advert, they depicted Thailand as like a third world country, very poor, like it has nothing. I don't know why they did that. But when you go to like the malls in like M-Sphere, M-Korea, Icon Sam, you see how like luxurious Thailand can be. And also if you go to the clubs too, outside all the clubs, they have like Ferraris, Lamborghinis, all these sports cars. And it's like, I think the West has got it wrong too. I'd say nowadays, Asia's on the rise and the West is on the decline, I would say, if I'm brutally honest.
You think so?
Yeah, and on like, when I'm scrolling on my social media too, I see so many like Westerners moving to Thailand too. Every month, more and more. And I think it's because people are quite sick of living in the West now, especially from my experience in England. People are quite miserable. It's expensive, taxes are high, the government's not really doing a very good job. And I mean, they see, for me example, do a video about a $300-400 luxurious condo with a swimming pool, with 24-hour security, with cheap food. They're like, wait a minute, I should be living here. And then they come here on vacation and they end up staying. And I'm just talking from experience too.
What's the like a no things here that you don't want to do in town, or you don't want to say to Thai people?
In the West, when you're hot, you take off your t-shirt, right?
Okay.
But I see a lot of foreigners, they take their top off here, and it's quite like weird to do here actually. It's not a normal thing, and I actually didn't know that when I first came here, so after like a run or a hike, I would just take my top off. But I don't think it's really accepted in the culture here. So if you ever take your top off in Thailand, or try not to take your top off, or have like a spare t-shirt. Another thing is, I think making like ladyboy jokes, it's quite weird. A lot of foreigners that come here for the first time, they just try and make fun of the ladyboys and stuff, but they're actually like really cool people. Like when you live here and experience the culture, they're amazing. They're really fun. They're really interesting, and it's just like part of the culture here. And in the West, it's seen as like, oh, look at them, and try and like bully them, but actually they're really cool. So I'll say like now it's like 2025. I mean, even though if you don't have like, I'm not saying you should like date a ladyboy or something, but just see them as like human too, you know.
Yeah, if I see like some viral TikToks or Instagram reels about Thailand, you definitely see like one of the most like liked comments about ladyboys.
Yeah, I think it's misunderstood. Yeah. But also I've been in Thailand for 2 years. It's just like seeing kind of like man, woman, and then you see a ladyboy and it's like, oh yeah, it's normal, you know.
It's normal. Yeah. Do you know why there are so many of them, of ladyboys here?
Honestly, I think there would be more around the world if it wasn't so stigmatized. I think Thailand is it's a very warm and welcome society. It's not as judgmental compared to other countries. People just accept each other for who they are, which breeds like ladyboy culture, and also for people to be gay, straight, whatever you are, and people just get along with it. But I think in the UK, for example, they kind of shove it in your face, right? From my experience, like if you're transgender, they'll try and like, I'm not saying all of it, but I think it's more aggressive. But here, it just is, you know?
Yeah.
If you're a ladyboy, yeah, you're a ladyboy, that's it, you know? It's just, you don't need to like put it in someone's face.
It's interesting because like Thailand feels the most like liberal country here in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
I mean, the weed is legalized and all these things. This is because it was never colonized. The Thailand was never under like any Western country. But it's like it has this unique positioning even in Southeast Asia.
I just feel like in Thailand they don't try too hard. Whatever happens, it just happens, you know. People are just very accepting here. Very less judgmental, more accepting, more at harmony, you know. There's the term called sabai sabai, like relax, relax. ไม่ต้องแบบใจร้อน ใจเย็น It's like calm down, it's okay, slow.
Does this affects, I don't know, productivity or customer service or that kind of stuff? Because people are very chill.
I just met with the governor of Bangkok last week to actually talk about this, and he actually made the point that because it's such a sabai relaxed environment, the productivity is quite low from locals. And this is what he stated. He said, because everyone's so chill, it's quite hard to get anything done. You know, from my experience, I think it's like very chaos in Bangkok, but it works. You know, I'll say that maybe the productivity is not as high as in like the Bay Area and San Francisco, but things just work out here, and people are much happier here compared to anywhere else I've seen, you know? I think the main metric we should focus on is if people are happy and they're content with life, and it seems that from my experience, a lot of people are here.
We've got one problem. You don't know me well enough because I'm always the one asking the questions. And I'd love for us to get closer. To fix that, find me on Instagram. That's why you get behind the scene look at this channel. I regularly share insights, analysis about YouTube, and even details about my YouTube earnings. Plus, I talk about my life principles and take you along on my travel across Asia, and not only Asia. For example, this is beautiful Australia. So trust me, you will love it. To follow me, just search for Max Chernov on Instagram, click the link in description or scan this QR code. And let's connect there and be real friends, okay?
How would you compare life in China versus life in Thailand?
In China, everyone is hustling. Like work. It's very intense, and from a young age, you're forced to like study. There's a thing called gaokao, and I think this is the reason why parents brought me to the UK, because they're like they probably want like a better life for me, which is not so stressful. So gaokao, you have to like study for like 9-10 hours every day to get into. It's like a high school exam to get into the university, and you're competing against all the students around the whole of China, and there's only like a set quota for the best university, so you're competing against like millions and millions of people, you know, each year. China's just a very competitive, and everyone wants to work too. Everyone wants to do the best for themselves, so you actually see a trend of a lot of mainland Chinese people moving out to
Thailand as well.
To Thailand, I've seen a few documentaries of Chinese people moving out here to try and break out of the rat race and live a simpler life.
Do you understand something about yourself as British with like Chinese Hong Kong roots after living in Asia?
I think I've always been a confused kid. I don't know which culture I am, because in the UK I don't feel that British. But also in China and Hong Kong I don't feel that Chinese or Hong Kong too. But here I think we're like in Thailand, it's the perfect mix, because Thai people really accept foreigners actually. They don't try and make you Thai, or they don't try and like see you as like below or superior. They just see you as human, you know?
So you exist.
Yeah, I think that's the sweet spot too. I feel really content here. Yeah, in England it was weird because I would always have to prove like my Britishness, and if you're like an Asian that's born in the West, you can 100% relate to what I'm talking about, but I'd always have to prove that, you know, I'm English. And it would even be like some conflict with my teachers too. They would be like, if say I'm talking in class, they'll be like, hey Mike, we're not speaking Japanese here. Like, and he says it in such a nonchalant manner. I'm like, wow, like it's so as normalized to be like passively racist in the UK. And even on like the subway or in Chinatown, I would get like racist remarks from British people too. Yeah, they would just be outwardly racist to me, and I wouldn't even know them. I'm like, wow, like I feel like I'm not welcome in this country. That's the reason why I didn't actually feel too British. Yeah, because I would always have to prove myself.
You have a bit of British accent, but also you have some, I guess, some Chinese accent.
Right,
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel like my accent has become a lot more diluted, because if in Thailand I speak with like a full British accent, and I speak like with very long sentences, it's quite hard for locals to understand. So I kind of have to tone it down a little bit, just localize my accent a bit. So now I'd say it's like an international accent. But when I speak to British people, my accent comes back.
You can switch.
It's
kind of similar for me in Singapore, because in Singapore, if you speak some Singaporean like uncle, taxi driver, you don't do the long sentences. You shorten it to like, hey, you go where? This kind of thing. Singlish and like very short. But here as well, you need to, like, for locals to understand you, you need to be like concise.
Exactly, like here, 50 baht. Okay. Good.
How many languages do you speak?
4. English, Mandarin, Cantonese, and Thai.
After learning Thai, what did you start to understand about the place more through the language?
It's like putting on glasses. It's literally a completely different experience when you understand Thai, because you can understand everything that's going on, right? Whereas when you're a tourist, it's very surface level, you know. You go to the temples, you go to the parties, but you don't really immerse yourself deeply in the culture without able to like converse to like to the local driver, to the seller. And once you're able to speak Thai, you can have these like interesting conversations with the sellers and like the people you're interacting on the day-to-day basis. And I feel like in Thai culture, they do like to have a good chat too. So whenever I order like my noodles, I'll have a conversation with the vendor for like at least 5-10 minutes, you know. And the place I just moved in now, there's like a helper that's looking after the building, and I also live with a roommate too. He's from Denmark, and he's not able to have these conversations with the helper, whereas I can like have fun with her, make jokes, and also like understand like how to navigate things in my apartment. Whereas he has to use Google Translate, he has to ask me. It's just like a lot of barriers when you don't know the language. It's interesting. Also, you start probably understanding what's going on around you. Like normally, like on the streets, I don't know, in a car, in a bus, in a taxi. It's like you get more information from the world, kind of, through the language. Because here is one of the things about Thailand. So, for example, in the Philippines, so many people speak English. Here, not really. So, to enjoy the place, to experience the place, you kind of have to learn the language. And that's also an issue with foreigners coming here. They kind of form their own bubble here. So they don't actually interact much with Thai people or Thai culture. They live in the luxurious condos, they eat the Western food, they hang out with just foreigners. And for me, I'm not here to judge because everyone has their own way of living, but I think it's a big opportunity you're missing out in, like immersing yourself in this beautiful culture, you know. And if a foreigner is watching this, I really do recommend just learning a little bit of Thai. You don't have to become fluent, but just spending maybe 10 minutes a day or 1 hour a week, it can make a big difference with your experience living in Thailand?
Yeah, that's true actually. Maybe in Bangkok less, this bubble thing, but in Phuket, so I interviewed foreigners in Phuket, and really after even staying like for 20 years, many, not all of them, but many like only interact and mingle with other foreigners after like 20 years. And
it's a shame.
It's a shame, yeah. I mean, you're just too comfortable. I mean, of course, the community, the expat, like foreigner community is huge, so you can basically stay in your bubble.
Yeah, but I just see it like this. Like when foreigners immigrate to the UK and they just stick with their own bubble, I think British people get annoyed too. They're like, well, why aren't you like learning the local language? Why aren't you like immersing yourself in the culture? Why are you trying to make it your own?
Yeah.
And I can see that happening in Thailand too. At least like learn, like don't try and force the Thai people to learn English. You should be learning Thai because you're in their country. You should at least respect like the culture a bit more. Yeah, that's if you're living here long term. If you're a tourist, I think it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm sure you get recognized on the streets, right?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
By locals or by other foreigners?
I'll say both because my content is trying to bridge the gap between the West and the East. Localized content, so both groups can understand.
Yeah.
Because usually in Thailand, it's foreigners only hang out with foreigners and Thais only hang out with Thais.
Yeah.
But I want to be in the middle. So if I do speak Thai, I'll have English subtitles. Or when I speak Thai, then I'll have English. When I speak English, then I have Thai subtitles too. Yeah.
Do you have Thai friends?
Yeah.
Like the topics that when you meet your Thai friends, the topics would be similar to like, I don't know, British friends or like Westerner friends?
No, I feel like with my Thai friends, it's more light-hearted. It's more fun. We like to crack jokes more.
Yeah.
I feel like Thailand is a very like fun country. Thai people really know how to have fun.
Yeah.
And the conversations are just very chill. But I think in the West, with my Western friends, I would say it's a bit more deep. It's a bit more serious. That's from my experiences. Yeah. From my experience, I feel like Asians like to hold in a lot of emotion. And they don't like to burden people with their like real feelings. But I think in the West, we're just taught to like say it, you know?
Based on your conversations with Thai friends, what do they worry about? Like, what are they like, something that they think about or they talk about something that's important for them?
I would say it's probably to do with money, if I was to say one answer, because Bangkok is very expensive to live, actually. Like if you go to a shopping mall like M Court or M Sphere, like a decent meal will run you 300-400 baht, right? But the average salary is only 20,000, 25,000. And if you're on the upper echelon, it's 50,000 up. And if you take into factor like rent, your food, if you have kids, you know, gas, taxes, all of this stuff, it's actually quite expensive for Thai people to live here. And then you have all of these foreigners and saying how cheap it is and the prices go up. I think that's probably a concern that most people actually are worried about.
Can you share like your budget, like your monthly budget?
Probably 50,000-60,000 baht per month.
What kind of like content resonates the most with the audience based on your experience? Like what topics in your content resonates the most? When
I make content, I always try and capture what's never been seen online. So before it'll be like the amazing $300-400 luxurious condos, because that's never been seen in the West before. Like if you would have that in London, it would run you at least $3,000-4,000. Another example is like I do a lot of hidden street food tours. So I'll just go to like a really hidden alley where it's just all residential, and I'll try like a $2 crispy pork, and then like that will do really well. So I think it's just showing like the little hidden gems or things that it's not really seen in the world.
What about like some cultural differences? For example, based on my content, I know that if a foreigner speaks English, especially if it's like Caucasian, and he or she know how to speak Singlish with the way how Singaporeans speak, then it's a great content. So people resonate a lot, people comment a lot. So something like similar that people, like locals,
I think it's the same in Thailand too. So for example, if a white person or a foreigner speaks Thai, it's really, really appreciated. Because like I said earlier, most foreigners that come here, they don't take the time to learn Thai.
Yeah.
They just live here. So when a foreigner does content in Thai, it always does well, because I think Thai people just love to see other people watching, speaking Thai. It's like an amazing thing for them, and they're so proud. Like, even if you don't speak it properly, like your words and your grammatic structure is not correct, they're like, yes, foreigners are speaking Thai, we're so happy. So which is why I have like a Thai channel to just speaking Thai. I'm like, yeah, they really enjoy watching that.
How people normally react when you start speaking Thai? They're like, oh, surprised? Oh, okay.
พวกเก่งมากเป็นลูกครึ่งเหรอ They're like, oh, you speak so well, are you mixed? I'm like, oh, ไม่ใช่ and then I'm like, I'm not. I'm from the UK, but my parents are Chinese. Yeah, they're like, I think they're very proud. They're very proud that I'm trying to learn. Even if you say Sawadee Krap, they're like, wow, you speak amazing Thai. Which is also why you guys should learn Thai too. It makes the conversation more exciting too. And also, if you're trying to date in Thailand, if you know a few words, it's going to put you in a different bracket, you know. It's going to make dating much easier.
Yeah, probably the segment of potential audience is much wider.
Yeah, exactly.
Your content creation thing, it's like your main thing, yeah? You make money.
Yeah, so before I was running an e-commerce business for 5 years.
Okay.
We're actually selling stickers.
Stickers.
Yeah, we're selling it around the world. And then this year, last year, I just gave it to my sister to manage. And but I was doing it with my sister at the time.
Nice.
Yeah, but now I just write guides about Thailand, about teaching Thai, and also how to move here as an expat, and just make content full time pretty much. Best job in the world.
Yeah, best job in the world. I agree. Which is more profitable, running the e-commerce business or content creation business?
I'll say it's about the same, and it's about how well you can actually manage the business. There's no limit with e-commerce, and there's no limit with content creation, right? Because you're spreading to the masses. But I'd say it's about the same actually. We actually from time to time around this online workshop, how to become a not content creator, but YouTuber specifically. So like how to choose the niche, how to monetize it, how to make money out of YouTube. So we will leave a link to this workshop so you can sign up. But yeah, I mean, it's super cool. I mean, if it works out for you, the content creation thing, and when it starts like working out, making money, it's like super cool. It's like, wow, that's amazing. I get paid to interview people.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the best.
I mean, sometimes I get paid to eat like chocolate cake. I'm like, this is so amazing. But this didn't come easy. I actually tried to be a creator for 3 to 4 years prior to actually making it.
What's your plan for Thailand? Are you staying here for like longer, or would you consider to move somewhere?
I want to live here as long as I can. This is home now. And like I said, I traveled for 5 years before this. I've seen enough of the world to realize Thailand is number one. It's,
nice. Can you say it in Thai? Thailand is number one. That you realized after traveling
ผมคิดว่าประเทศไทยครั้งแรกครับผมชอบที่นี่มากๆครับแล้วผมอยากขอบคุณคนไทยนะรับผมอยู่ที่ประเทศนี้ครับขอบคุณมากครับ